Welcome to Cinema Reviews, and today we're going to be talking about Hocus Pocus 2, the 2022 sequel to the 1993 film Hocus Pocus. As always, I'm going to keep this review as spoiler-free as I possibly can. However, anything in the trailer or promotional material is going to be considered free game. First positive I have for this film is that it was even made, considering the fact that when Hocus Pocus first came out, it was pretty much a dead on arrival. Given the fact that it was released in July of 1993 rather than around the Halloween season, for a while it was overlooked until later on in its lifetime. And of course later on you had people in many aspects demanding or requesting a sequel or a follow-up story. So the fact that this film was even made and that everyone was able to come back who did is a testament to itself. The second positive I have for the film is all the cast of characters. You can tell everyone was having a great time making this movie, and that they had a whole lot of on-screen and off-screen chemistry with one another. Especially all the actresses such as Sarah Jessica Parker, Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy. I heard them say in the interview that as soon as they were on screen together, they could feel the same energy that they felt nearly 30 years earlier. And as an audience member, you can feel it yourself, not only because of nostalgia, but because of just the pure joy they have doing and acting out these characters. The third positive I want to give the film is some of the clever decision making and some of the writing, especially in one aspect of how the Sanderson Sisters are brought back. I was very curious from watching the trailer on how they were going to do it, if it was done intentionally or unintentionally. I'm not going to go into it too much, but I found it very interesting the way that they handled it and the different approach that they took to it opposed to the original film. Now some of the mixed aspects. I feel like some of the characters in the film are in some ways over the top. Either some of them are extremely dumb or very energetic and extra. Some may say that's a nitpick, but another mixed aspect that I have is in some scenes the movie is oddly meta in some ways. For instance, there's a brief glimpse of two people watching the original Hocus Pocus, or there being a costume contest of the Sanderson Sisters, which I mix on for several reasons. I feel like the filmmakers were trying to probably comment on the fact of how much popularity Hocus Pocus has gotten over the years. How it's literally now a staple of Halloween. Most people, that's the first movie they gravitate towards as soon as the first leaves fall. So I think it's an interesting concept to look at on how the first movie affected the holiday itself, but I don't know if it's done to the best of its abilities, and I don't really know if it's necessary for the story that they were trying to tell, at least. And my last mixed aspect is some of the thematic elements are not fully fleshed out, I don't think. For instance, it's mentioned in the beginning and ending scene, sort of the overall theme of the movie. However, I feel like there's not enough build up to that. There's not enough build up to what the film is trying to say on things such as sisters or friendship or anything like that. So it feels unearned or unsatisfying in some aspects. Now on to the negative aspects. And just to sum it up, there are a lot of dumb characters in this movie. For instance, our main protagonist tricked the witches by saying that they are older than the age they actually are. The problem with this is that the film ignores the fact that Mary Sanderson can smell children. And it's even established later on in this movie that she can smell children, but yet is completely ignored, so we can have this segment of them interacting and not trying to attack the main protagonist. Another weird element, as seen in the trailer, they use salt to protect themselves from the witch's powers. In the movie, Winifred Sanderson is surprised by this, but in the first movie, she knows exactly what salt does and how it prevents powers.
Salt! Ha! What a clever little white witch!
So there's a whole lot of inconsistencies compared to the first movie. Again, that may be a little bit nitpicky, but considering that this is a sequel, then I feel like everything should possibly flow as naturally as it possibly can. And some of the other dumb character traits in the film is the people of Salem. As seen in the trailer, there's a flashback scene of when the Sanderson sisters are young.
Well, Younger.
The people of Salem are portrayed, as I mentioned, dumb, which is very inconsistent to the first movie because we have a scene that takes place in Salem around that time period, and the people of Salem, maybe not dumb, over-dramatic is a better word. I feel like that conflicts with the tone of these two movies, and I apologize for comparing the two, but this movie is not a standalone movie. It's a sequel to a pre-existing movie, so everything should be able to go together with it fairly seamlessly. And there are a whole lot of callbacks and things like that that connect them. It's just some things don't connect as well as others, or the filmmakers neglect certain plot points that happened in the previous film in order to have a funny scene or a funny line. One thing I was worried about going into the film is it is implied that there is good magic and good witches, and I just want to say that I in no way endorse the use of magic or witchcraft or anything like that, and I feel obligated to mention that it's important to take this film as fiction, similar to how The Wizard of Oz has the Wicked Witch and the Good Witch. I feel it's important for me to mention this. I can see some people may think that I'm being over dramatic or whatever, but these are some personal convictions that I would not feel right talking about movies with this type of subject matter without bringing that up, without clarifying. I think it's extremely important to take this film and any other film as that fiction. So overall, was this sequel worth it? Did we need a Hocus Pocus 2? No, not really. I think that the first one was a very well-contained story. However, the way that they did it was fun and effective. The way that they did it was probably close to the best that it could be. It's not a sequel that we necessarily needed, but it's one that many people wanted and have been begging for many years. I thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of the film, what you liked, what you didn't like, or your mixed aspects, if any. And please let me know what you thought of this review. And I thank you very much for watching. God bless.
That's not 6 feet under.